Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now this is the part 2 of notation, musical notations, okay? So in the part 1 you need to watch it if you haven't watched it, so some of these symbols might make sense to you. All right, so in the part 1 we learned about the names of some of the symbols used in musical notations, okay? So in America or United States it's called a whole note for semi-breve, okay? So they call a whole note they call a semi-breve a whole note over there, while we call it a semi-breve over here. Then minim is half, a note that lasts halfway. It doesn't get to the end. So half a note, and that's what it's called in America, but here it's called minim. All right. And then the third one, which is a quarter note, is a crochet. In the first video, I called it a crochet because that's what I've heard all my life in secondary school. But I went, and that's why it's good to check the pronunciation of things. Don't pronounce them on the face value, because on the face value it's pronounced crochet. But I think it's an Italian word. I've not checked, but it's called crochet, right? The T is silent, and and so on. Anyway, that's not the subject. So crochet is a quarter note, and that's what they call it over there. So now we're gonna put these things together and form a composition today. Okay, so are you ready? This is the fun part, okay? All right, so last week is the theory part. Now here's a practical part of the whole thing. So join me, let's go to the screen and look at this composition I made. Okay, so as you can see here, we've already placed notes on a treble staff. Now, this 4x4 here means there's 4 beats in a bar. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so every 4 makes up a bar. Okay, so now in this first bar, you can see that there's a line here separating this segment from this bar. Okay, so that's what separates the bar, these lines here. There you go. And the last one here. Okay, now remember I told you in the previous video, you got to watch it if you haven't watched it, else some of these things may not make sense to you. Okay, so in the first video, we studied the names of these symbols, and we learned that this one is called a semi-breve, all right? A whole note. And a semi-breve means the note lasts for a whole bar. So you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to go all the way, stretch all the way. So it doesn't make sense outside of the staff. All right. This circle here called semi-breve of a whole note or a whole note doesn't make much sense if it's outside of it. It only gives you more information if it's not placed on this. When it's placed on this, it gives you the duration of the note, how long it lasts, and it gives you the sound, the pitch. All right. So remember what I told you in the first video, that the lines have names and the spaces have names as well. So this is a space. So this note that should last for a whole bar is in this space. So what's the name of this space? Again, in the first video, I mentioned that the name of the spaces are face. Just say face, F-A-C-E, and you remember the name. So F-A. So that means this semi-breve is an A note. So it's an A note that lasts for a whole bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. So we got the first one. The bar is done. Okay, so let's go to the next bar. In the next bar, we have, remember, we studied this, and this symbol, it actually means minim. It's a minim. Minim, okay? So a minim is half of a semi-breve. So a minim is also a half note, okay? It's also called a half note. It's half of a semi-breve. So that means it lasts for just 2 beats in the bar. Okay, now that we know that, what is the pitch? What is the pitch? Now, if you look here, we studied or we learned in the first video that the names of the lines are every good boy deserves favor. As simple as that. So every good, G. So this minim is on a G. So it means a G that should last just 2 beats. Okay, so what's the sound of G? Ah. Ah. Okay. That's it. We're done. We're done. Just 2 beats. Okay. And then it changes to this. So the next 2 beats in that same bar is going to be this. So this minim is in another space. What's the name of this space? Face. F, F, F. So this minim now is on an F. Okay, so it's an F that should last just for 2 beats in a whole bar. Okay, so it's that's the sound. That's it. We're done. Okay, it doesn't last long. Okay, let's move on to the next bar. So that bar is done because this note here or this minim here took up 2 beats in the bar, and this other minim here took up 2 beats in the bar, and 2 plus 2 we know makes 4. So that's the 4 beat in this bar. So let's move to the next bar right now. In this bar, we see something different. We see a crochet. In the last video, like I said, I called it a crochet. You don't pronounce it on the face value, all right? So it's called a crochet. The T is silent and the stress is different. Okay, so we see 4 of them, all right, because a crochet is a quarter note. So we have, I like this composition because we're moving gradually downwards, okay? So we have a whole note, we have a half note, and then we have a quarter note, okay? So we have a semi-breve, we have a minim, we have a crochet. Good. So a crochet is just 1 beat, a sound that lasts for just 1 beat, okay? So now we look at the space or line is placed on to determine what the pitch is. So this crochet is on the first space, and the first space is an F. Remember, F-A-C-E. We have 4 spaces, 5 lines, and it's on the first space, which is an F. All right. So that's it. So 1. That's it. And then you go to the next one. The next one is a crochet on the second line. So what's the second line? Every good G. Every good, every. First line, E. Good G. Because good begins with G. Correct? So it's on the line of G. All right. And then the next one is on the next space. The name of the second space is A. All right. Face. F-A. And then the next one comes back down to the second line. I hope you're following me. Okay. The second line is every good boy deserves favor. Every good G. Okay. Because G begins with good. So it's back down to G. So if we have the 4 beats in the bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, each one should take up a beat, obviously. So we have F, G, A, G. So F, G, A, G. Okay. Again, F, G, A, G. So let's go to the next bar. And again, in the next bar, we see a whole note there. Okay, so that's not difficult. We already studied it here. But this time, there's a difference between this one and this one. Though it lasts for a whole bar is placed on a different space. It's in a different space. So what's this space here? We have the first space, which is an F. We have the second space, which is an A. Then we have the third space, which is a C. So it's now a C. Yeah, that's it, C. That's the sound of C. So this C lasts for a whole bar, okay? Very simple. Now let's go to the next one. We're back to this space because we started with the same thing, a semi-breve on the space of A. That's the sound of A, okay? Let's move on, and that means this semi-breve will take a whole bar. Okay, good. Now let's move to the next one. Okay, so now this looks different from this. This looks like it's upside down, but it's the same thing. It doesn't matter, yeah? So it's in a different space as well. So what's the space? Remember the names of the space. If you want to remember face. F-A-C. So we have a minim on the space of C, which means this note is supposed to last 2 beats. So this C is supposed to last 2 beats, okay? 1, 2, that's it. And then you come to the next one for the next 2 beats in the same bar, and we're back to F. Okay, so 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. So together, these 2 will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we have here. And now we are, oh, look at it, look at this, look at this. We're back to the same pattern. And that's one thing you find in music. You find repetitive patterns, okay? This is the same group of crochet we have here on the same space or lines. So we have a crochet on an F, the next one on a G, the next one on an A. Remember, the space here is A, and then the next one back down to G because every good boy deserves favor. Back down to G because every good boy deserves favor. Deserves favor. All right. So yeah. So how does this sound? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of these notes will take up one beat. So it is F, G, A, G. That's it. F, G, A, G. Okay. Then you resolve with, because this song is in the key of F, you resolve on F. Most songs resolve on the root notes. Okay. So then we have this F, G, F. Okay, let's go again so you can follow with the arrow or with the cursor. F, G, A, G, and then resolve. This lasts for a whole bar. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go back from the beginning and recap before we play all together. So this semi-brief lasts for a whole bar, and it's on the space of A, F, A, and then we have, okay, and then we move on. These are minims. Yeah, yeah, going up. Yeah, yeah. Oh, don't move it, don't move it. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, last for a whole bar. That's another whole note, but this time it's on A. This is a half note, a minim. This time it's on C, and now back to F, a minim on F, and then we have crochets. So this one is on F, this one is on G, this one is on A, this one is back down to G, and this is back down to F. Okay, how does this sound together in real time? So I'm just gonna play the whole thing, okay? Listen. Oh, we made music together. Awesome. Okay, what if we move? Let's try this experiment. Okay. Okay, what if we move this one to yeah, let's move in here. So we moved it was where? Oh, it was on F, so we move it to C. Yeah, C, stay there. Let's see how it's gonna sound. Yes, there's no change in that last one because I wanted to resolve to make it sound like we've arrived to our home, we've arrived at our destination. Anyway, I wouldn't want to do this, so I would like my previous composition. So we have mi, re, do. Good. Now, don't worry about the solfege. It's the same thing. No, that's a different explanation. Okay. All right. So, what if we sing on this composition like this? What's it gonna sound like? Okay, so let's listen.
It's such fun when you learn to sing. It's such fun when you learn to sing.
Way, yes, that's it. That's how you make music, basically. Okay, so that's what this means. We're gonna be composing more, okay, and maybe even breaking down some already existing melodies, rhythms, or songs. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you understand better when you see things like this. You're not intimidated, but you'll be like, hey, I know what that means, all right? Yes, because knowledge makes you free. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, okay? And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe if this is your first time or you've been coming and going without subscribing. Now it's time to subscribe, okay? And make sure you share this video as well to be a blessing to other people out there. Thank you again for watching, and I'm going to see you next time. Don't forget also to click the join button, okay, a way to support this channel because the videos I'm bringing you are totally free. I'm giving you all the knowledge I have, okay? Anything I learn, I bring it to you, okay? Any new thing. I don't hold anything back. So click the join button to support this channel with any amount. We have 3 categories. And also by being a special member of this channel, you get to have some special access that being just a subscriber wouldn't give to you. That's it from me. See you next time. Bye.